All right, my name is Jennifer Engel, and for those of you who don't know me, I've been on hospice for 10.5 months. I'm not going to go through what got me here or anything like that, because that's what all my previous videos were about. What these ones are about is just giving updates on how I'm doing while I am on hospice. And I used to stick to like weekly Wednesday updates just because I was a teacher and I like the alliteration, but now I'm just going to do video updates when there might be something new or different or a change, and the rest of the updates, so I use a couple different platforms. I use TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Facebook is actually my number one. The number one why I do this is to update friends and family members. But then also I found a community on TikTok as well, so to update those as well. But what TikTok's going to get all the videos, but I might do like just a really quick today was a good day on Facebook and not do a video. So that's just kind of how I use my social media. So today is September 22nd, 2025. It is a Monday, and today's a good day. And actually the last couple days have been really good days mentally. So what I'm going to go through really quickly is kind of like the pros and cons of where I am now, being on hospice at 10.5 months. And then I'm just going to show you some things that I was working on today. One of them that I didn't include is sometimes trying to straighten this tube out. This tube can, you can see I wear oxygen, and I pretty much wear it almost 24/7. Technically, I don't need it 24/7, but there was one night where I just couldn't breathe, and I use it as a security blanket. But also when I do get nurse visits, I get 98% oxygen saturation, which is really, really good. So that's another reason why I use it. So this thing goes all over the house, and it's actually huge, but it does get very kinky, and not in the sexy way. And so I haven't unkinked it in like a week. So that's one of the things that I worked on, and I should probably try to unkink it maybe almost daily, but there is that. Also, you want to make sure that there's water in your oxygen tank, because when the water gets low, I notice I get a bloody nose, which is not good. There is actually, sorry, I'm gonna lean in here a little bit, a tip that when that happens, when the bloody nose stops, or if you get dry, number one is just check your oxygen tank. Not that you're on oxygen, but if you are, make sure that water is really in there. And then the second one is Vaseline. I take my pinky and kind of line my nose with the Vaseline, and that helps from getting a bloody nose. Things you don't think about. All right, so that's kind of a negative, and I do have like a few little notes that I might be looking down just so that I remember what to talk about. I'm going to do the negatives because I live in the juxtaposition of this journey called hospice, where two seemingly opposite things can seem to coexist at the same time. And my number one goal is just comfort and no pain. So there's that, like physically and mentally. I would have to say that physically, when I'm sitting down, because I have this huge list of meds that I take. I've shown my notebook before, and I don't have my notebook with me right now, but it's a lot of meds that I take. Most of my meds are related to breathing. That's my number one struggle, if you could say that. So a lot of my meds are about keeping my lungs open, but then also minimizing mucus. So I take like 5 doses of steroids per day and 2 Mucinex per day, and that can leave me feeling also really dry. So I always have bottles of water or Gatorade around to keep trying to moisturize not feel so dried out. Luckily, I haven't like had my eyes dry or anything like that. It's mostly my mouth that gets really dry, so that's good. So one of the things that I feel is when I started this journey as 165 pounds or something, I'm getting down to like 100 pounds. There's not a whole lot to atrophy. And so what's interesting is, again, I live in this juxtaposition where two seemingly opposite things can coexist at the same time. On one hand, I use the term wave, meaning I have sad emotional times where I feel sad, maybe a little depressed, mostly sad, as I feel the end is getting nearer. Those are starting to come up more and more, so that's one of the negative things. But I would have to say the opposite is also true, and the percentage is different. So even though I might have these waves of sadness and depression, mostly they are tied to leaving the people I love behind. I'm not afraid to die, but I am very, very sad to leave the people behind. That's what I generally cry about. And I'm lucky enough to be able to cry about it with them, and to share that with them. So that's the negative part. The positive part is I don't know if these waves or it's drugs, or just knowing that I don't know if this thing I'm doing is going to be the last time I get to do it. Because in the past, when I had weight on me and all those other things, what was the point there? See, I can get a little brain foggy here. And I remember. In the past, I used to say, you're not really going to see changes day to day or week to week, but you will see changes month to month. Well, now we're at the point where you're going to see changes week to week and maybe even day to day. Like there was a day where I was able to walk around and do a lot of stuff, and I did still need help like doing dishes and things like that, or I did need to sit down for long periods of time, but I was kind of moving around a lot. And then a day or two later, it's like I can barely get up these 4 stairs or 5 stairs, I guess, that we have now. Now I need someone when I'm at the top of the stairs to almost put their arms underneath my armpits and help me with that last stair. That's new. My left leg and my back are definitely getting a lot weaker. But I've actually been mentally, like if you balance out the waves and how happy I've actually been. And to be honest, I've been really surprised the last couple of days that I've been so happy. Again, I don't know if it's like the drugs, or, and it's probably a combination, because I'm taking drugs that wake you up. I'm doing my own playbook. I'm not following the typical hospice journey where you're going to get sleepier and sleepier. I'm actually more awake. And it's actually rare now that I get sleepy. I will get sleepy if I eat like high fat, high carbs. I was so tired yesterday. I had a cheat day, but my body really wanted that high fat, high carbs. So if I do eat heavy, I will fall asleep. But that's more for digestion. It's not related to opioids or my medicine. Most days I eat kind of light. I like to try to stay awake as much as I can during the day so that I can sleep more at night and kind of match my family's schedule. But I'm also trying to learn how to let go and go with the flow. But the point is, I've been really surprised at how happy I have been mentally. It's like when I'm in the shower, it's like I can actually take a shower. Like all these little small things that everybody takes for granted become amplified times like 1,000, or there's probably not a number to it, when you actually get to do it and know that I get to do this. And I'll be honest, when I was not having cancer and going about my life, I didn't really think about those things. It's just something you do. But now it's something I get to do. And I don't know how much longer I get to do it. And so maybe that's what's making me happy. Like today, I get to take a shower and I get to do it on my own. And it feels so good. And even if I have to sit in a shower chair, So even though I do get the waves, I would say the percentage of being sad versus happy is tipped. The number of times I'm sad is actually pretty low, and the number of times I've been happy lately is actually pretty high. And maybe sometimes, during the day when I'm just doing a crossword or something like that, it might be a little bit more equal. But I've actually been kind of surprised about that, and I want people to know that hospice and the journey to, die, I guess, doesn't have to be bad, scary. You don't have to be sad all the time. There, at least for me, is some gifts. And it's kind of like whatever you think about and whatever you put your focus on, that's what's going to happen. And I don't have pain. I'm meeting my goal, which is to be comfortable. So that's really good. The point is that, as long as you just keep going, no matter how slow, keep going and try to take some things today that you would normally take for granted and really just enjoy them. Maybe it's a shower, maybe it's eating, but find one thing and try to really enjoy it.